Good evening, everyone, and happy New Year's Eve to you. Thanks so much for joining us tonight on Unscripted at 6:30, our last unscripted show of 2024. Let's turn things over, rather, to our chief meteorologist, Joe Charlevoix. And Joe, we are ending the year with not a whole lot going on weather-wise, a few snow showers here and there, but nothing too crazy.
Well, I think the biggest thing tonight is it's warm. I mean, it'll be in the low to mid 30s tonight. And I know we've had in a few years past, I'm trying to remember what year it was, a few years back, it was like, 0 out. So if you are heading out tonight, maybe dinner plans, I know there's a number of events around northern Michigan, it won't be all that cold. Bundle up, but we are going to see some snow showers increasing, and as we flip the calendar here, Maya, into the new year, it looks a lot more wintry-like coming up here. So we'll take a look at all that, how much more snow we expect, and look at the rest of the week coming up a little later.
All right, thanks, Joe. And we are less than 6 hours away now from the big ball drop in Times Square, New York City. But here in northern Michigan, we have our own ball drop to celebrate. The Cherry Tea Ball Drop in downtown Traverse City is happening tonight once again. And that's where we can find our very own Cody Bear. He has been downtown Traverse City for a few hours now, just kind of checking everything out. How is it going down there, Cody?
Yeah, Maya, it's going pretty well. People are pretty excited, and it's been a pretty long process of setting things up around when I got here a little bit before 4:30. At that time, it was really just fences on a trailer that they were starting to put around, and now they've made a whole lot of progress. See the cherries lit up. They have a clock for the countdown, so it's going really well.
And are the roads already closed there on Front Street?
They are. I can actually show you down the street. Same way the other way. You can't see it as well, but there's no parking. Those fences are set up kind of blocking the road, so there's no driving either way either.
And it looks pretty quiet right now. Not a whole lot of people out and about, but in just a few hours, there will be thousands of people downtown. So I guess it's worth mentioning that obviously with Front Street being closed, people cannot park there, but there are other places to park around downtown Traverse City. But Cody, when do things really start? When do the quote-unquote gates open?
Yeah, so the Festival Foundation says that gates open at 8. You can come in, but the fun really starts around 10. That's when the festivities get going and the music really ramps up and that kind of thing really gets started.
And the cool thing about this ball drop is it's not just a cherry ball drop, it is a cherry tea ball drop charity. So every year the Festival Foundation picks a different organization to give all the proceeds to. So who is this year's selection?
Yes, it is Northern Michigan's Project Feed the Kids. And their mission, of course, in the name is to feed children that are in need. And that's really what it's all about here, is that charity. Festival Foundation says since they started this entire event, they've raised more than $120,000 for separate charities. So they expect to make a lot this year. 2022, 2023, they raised more than $16,000. So they're excited about the difference that they can make with this one.
Yeah, that is a lot of money. So how is that money raised every year?
Yeah, so it is through pretty much all of it through ticket sales, things like that, I believe. So any of the money that's really being spent here and to go here is, it's going right back into the charity.
And I am pretty sure, I guess I did go to the ball drop last year, so I think that you can get in for free. There's no ticket, but they do encourage a donation, and it's that donation then that would go to the organization. But Cody, since the roads are closed, are you able to go across the street and give us a closer look at the cherry?
Yes, absolutely.
Because we hear how big it is. It's 600 pounds. I don't know how many lights it has on it, but it's one thing to hear about it, but then to actually see it up close is a different, unique perspective. Oh, I'm kind of losing you when you're walking there for some reason. So maybe, I guess we're not able to walk and talk. So we'll wait till you get there. Oh, there's a lot of music in the background. Okay, so I don't think we can hear you, Cody, but if you just want to show us the chair. Okay, wow. There she is in all of her glory. So yeah, and like I said, less than 6 hours, that big cherry will go up into the sky and drop down to ring in the new year. So yeah, I think you'll have to now leave so I can continue to ask you more questions. Sorry about that, Cody. We're making you put in some serious work there in downtown Traverse City, making you move a little bit tonight. But what has the energy been like so far? Like we mentioned, there's not a whole lot of people down there right now, but we saw in your live shots earlier, there are still a lot of people out and about. Are people just getting really excited for the ball drop, would you say?
Yeah, people are excited, and a lot of people that are going by and might be out for dinner, I heard talking about it. I had some people ask me, what's going on? And then they see the cherry, and people are like, oh, well, that's cool. Maybe I'll come back and see it. So even the people that are just out for dinner, I've heard talking about coming back and even staying for a while to come back for this cherry ball drop. So even though there's not a ton of people right now, the people that have been here have been interested, have been excited to come back and celebrate and ring in the new year.
Anything else you want to mention about this big cherry ball drop?
Yeah, it's going to be an exciting time, and maybe on a bit more of a serious note with it. I spoke to Michigan State Police last night, and they were really encouraging, hey, make sure you have a plan. So if you are planning to go out tonight, go ahead and create a plan on if you're going to have some drinks, create a plan on how you're going to get home. Michigan State Police is going to have a lot more patrols. It'll be bumped up tonight just to make sure people get home safely. So if you are going to have a good time tonight, please do, but just make sure you have a plan to get home safely as well.
Yes, that is great advice, Cody. Well, thank you so much for joining us on Unscripted. Happy New Year. I might not see you until next year. So.
Yeah.
All right, well, if you can't make it to downtown Traverse City tonight to catch the ball drop live in action, don't you worry. You can watch from the comfort of your home. You can be in your pajamas on your couch. We'll be live streaming the ball drop tonight starting at 11:45 p.m. as you can see on your screen right now. I will be hosting it alongside Brendan Kinney and Heather Bricka. We will be talking with the Festival Foundation about what goes into putting this ball drop together. We'll also be talking with Project Feed the Kids about what they do and how important this donation is for them. So be sure to join us tonight at 11:45 to ring in the new year. But some folks actually rang in the new year a little early this year, and a Wexford County tradition continued today. So the Cadillac area YMCA hosts a kid-friendly New Year's Eve party every single year. And this year there were about 70 kids and their families that attended. Now the event is totally free. There are refreshments, snacks, and all the kids actually come together to create the ball. And then they do a ball drop. And this is a really good way to make sure that kids are getting in the New Year's Eve spirit earlier, because a lot of them maybe can't stay up until midnight. And they're also asking people to bring in a donation of food.
It's good for the community to see what we do, and it gives the kids a chance and the parents a chance to do something different for New Year's that maybe they can't afford to go out and do.
And let's turn things over to our question of the day now related to New Year's Eve. What are your plans for the evening? Right now, a lot of people are going to be staying in. You can scan the QR code on your screen right now. That'll take you to our website where you can vote. Where 93% of people are staying in, 7% are going out. I know, as I mentioned, I will be at the ball drop hosting it live, but right after that, I will be going back home and putting my pajamas on and getting ready for bed. So kind of best of both worlds. I didn't really know how to vote because I am going out, but then immediately after that, I'll be staying in. So yeah, be sure to vote on our question of the day, and we'll take another look at those results a little later. But some of us who are of the legal drinking age may be consuming some alcohol tonight on New Year's Eve. And alcohol is actually one of the things that hasn't been too heavily impacted by inflation this past year. And Mark Gillette went to a store in Traverse City to find out how this has impacted their sales for this year.
We have just about everything you need.
At Tilly's Party Store in Traverse City, today, a busy day. New Year's Eve, and lots of customers coming in here to find exactly what they want.
We have lots of beer, from the domestic to the craft beer. We have ready-to-mix drinks. We have liquor and wine. It's quite a wide mix.
Tilly's is unique in a lot of ways, but as it turns out, there's something a little unique about selling alcohol these days.
It depends on which kind of beer and alcohol you're buying. Some of the more premium brands have seen increases, but other domestic type beers and your basic everyday brands of liquor have kind of stayed the same mostly.
Yep, in a time when it seems like almost everything we buy keeps costing more and more, alcohol hasn't skyrocketed as much. Across the board, you're paying more today than in the past. But according to the Consumer Price Index, while inflation year over year for most items has risen 2.7%, alcohol is only up 1.8%. In fact, over the past 70 years, alcohol has been remarkably consistent in pricing, showing jumps primarily when new taxes or fees are imposed, as well as an uptick during the supply chain issues during the COVID years. Factors like weather and the impact on crops and global tensions can make some products more costly. But alcohol, while not immune to inflation, has proven to outperform most of what we buy. Kind of a surprise.
It is. Everything else is increasing quite a bit, so.
While inflation may not be driving up prices here as much, inflation has had a kind of interesting side impact here. As we pay more at the grocery store and at the pump for everything else out there, when folks come in here, they may feel the need to pinch pennies a little more.
They are looking to save money in those areas. They're kind of going back to their basic, well-known brands instead of splurging for something a little pricier.
Maybe not as much name brand, or perhaps a domestic over a craft beer. Either way, a little advice from a man in a store which is bracing for a busy night.
They should go to Tilly's Party Store. We have just about everything you need.
Our next story takes us to Lansing, our state's capital. And in the new year, Republicans will regain control in the Michigan House for the first time in 2 years. And one lawmaker says he's already planning to propose changes to the state's voting laws. Here's Courtney Bennett with more on that story.
House Republicans are taking over, and they already have plans to propose new bills in the coming weeks to get this legislative session started.
This is a no-brainer. Only citizens should be voting in our elections. It's a no-brainer. I believe it should not be a partisan issue at all.
Republican lawmaker Brian Postumus says he believes everyone should get behind these proposed laws.
A foreign national has come forward and admitted to voting in our election, and that ballot counted. And so this is a problem of the Democrats making, and I believe it was unintentionally made.
He's referring to a University of Michigan student from China who cast a ballot during early voting in the last election cycle. Michigan Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson says non-citizen voting is an extremely isolated and rare event.
I've always believed that we should be requiring photo ID when casting our ballot. I've always believed that only U.S. citizens should be voting in our elections.
The Legal Defense Fund in Michigan worked with lawmakers during this past session on the Michigan Voting Rights Act. It passed in the Senate. However, during the lame duck session in the House, it went nowhere. LDF says under the act, it would protect and ensure all eligible voters maintain their freedom to vote, emphasizing that during a news conference in mid-December.
In this era, it's really incumbent upon state governments now to protect their own citizens from racial discrimination in all its forms, including in elections, by enacting strong state Voting Rights Act protections.
These bills, if proposed, would still have an uphill battle in the legislature.
Requires 2/3 of the House of Representatives to pass it and 2/3 of the Senate. Assuming you get both chambers to vote it out with 2/3, then it will end up on the ballot. And the people of Michigan will get to decide whether or not this is the right step forward for our state.
Representative Postumus says that he plans to introduce this in the middle of the month. While Republicans will control the House, Democrats still control the Senate and the governor's office. I'm Courtney Bennett reporting.
And we're going to take a quick commercial break, but we'll be right back in just a few minutes. And Joe Charlevoix will have much more on your forecast for the rest of the evening if you have any outdoor plans for New Year's Eve, and as well as a look ahead to the first week of 2025. So stay with us. All of that is next.
I'm Jada Johnson from Big Boys TV, and the Fish and Game Report is sponsored by Johnson's Propane.
Welcome back, everyone. We are ending 2024 with a pretty quiet night weather-wise, and Joe said the big story is warmer temperatures, which is great for folks who are heading outside to celebrate New Year's Eve tonight. But Joe, when are things going to become more cold and winter-like again?
Well, later this week. You know, it's not Orlando. It's not 70 out there tonight, but 30s isn't bad, right?
Yeah.
You'll be down there a little later.
I'll take 30s.
No, down in Traverse City. It's not too bad temperature-wise, but we are seeing, you know, a bit of an uptick in the snow, and that's going to kind of carry through the rest of the week. Let's go to Petoskey. That's a look there. We've had some snow this evening. As we look at our Holiday Inn Express and Suites camera, you're looking north along US 131. Pretty quiet currently there. We'll jump 70 miles south. Let's head down to Traverse City, and that is where the Cherry T ball drop will take place, kicking off around 10, which is when most people will head down there. And we do expect some rain and snow showers both. I know there's a number of events. I know Grayling is dropping a canoe, a lot of different things. Ludington, I believe, has a pretty big event tonight. So this will be kind of the same story area-wide. Temperatures will be in the 30s, some off and on snow at times. We are kind of missing out. There's an area of low pressure over Ohio tonight, not far from Columbus. There has been some snow in the southern part of the state, especially down across southeast Michigan. We have pretty much missed out on that here. We've had a relatively quiet day, but we are seeing some snow starting to pick up. In fact, if you look out over Lake Michigan, you see that big band of white there? See that, Maya? Yeah. That's going to come on shore a little later. So that's what Maya's going to be down in Traverse City. That's what you may be dealing with a little later. Some possibly rain and snow at times this evening. And this is what it looks like. We'll see this band of snow coming on shore right there. This is around 11, 12 o'clock, right around midnight. And then snow showers will flare up tomorrow. There's our Wednesday, New Year's Day. A lot of cloud cover. And again, you'll kind of dodge these snow showers at times throughout the day if you do have plans tomorrow on your New Year's. The big snow winner, I think, in the short term will be up around, if you're tuned in there, around Sault Ste. Marie, Whitefish Bay, that area. There's through tomorrow. Not a whole lot overall. You know, 1 to 2 inches maybe. But then there's Wednesday night, and then Thursday, you can see up around the Sioux. You're looking at, you know, Sault Ste. Marie, 10, maybe 11 inches of localized snow there. And also around Grayling, that corridor there, Grayling up toward Kalkaska, seeing some snow. Lake effect snow will then kind of continue on. There's Thursday, there's Friday. You see where northern Michigan is there. Saturday, Sunday. Looks like a pretty big storm will pass south of us over the weekend. I think we miss out on that. And then, well, another bubble of cold air will drop in here next week, and look what happens, more lake effect snow. So as we head into the week coming up here, we'll add this up over a week period. Yeah, some spots could see, you know, 6 to 12 inches, maybe more in the typical snow belt regions. If you have plans next weekend or the upcoming weekend, here's Saturday and Sunday, upper teens, low 20s on Saturday, scattered lake effect snow on Sunday, same story, low and mid 20s. There will be a little bit of lake effect snow. All right, here is our extended forecast. Looks kind of wintry. Now, if you're not in the snow belt areas, and you know that, if you're in Alpena, Houghton Lake, just Drummond Island, I'm just picking out a few spots, you're not going to get as much snow as, say, some of the typical snow belt areas will, Maya. But over the next week, it's going to kind of add up, and, you know, we flip the calendar here, and it'll kind of be a little more wintry-like moving forward here.
Cool down quite a bit, too.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, thanks, Joe. We're going to take another quick commercial break, but we'll be right back in just a few minutes with our sports director, Harrison Beebe. Stay with us. Sports is next. Welcome back, everybody. Let's bring in our sports director, Harrison Beebe, who joins us live now from our content center. And Harrison, it's been a full circle year for the Michigan Wolverines. They started the year with a win against Alabama, ended the year the exact same way.
Yeah, it's almost like college football's rigged or something at that point. Yes, Maya, that is exactly what happened. It was 365 days total, though, as we mentioned at 6, because it was a leap year. So
Right.
it was a full year in normal times, but with that extra day, it still covered January 1st to December 31st. Yeah, 19-13 the final in the ReliaQuest Bowl. And I looked up in the break, ReliaQuest is a cybersecurity company. Well, let me tell you, there was not a lot of security in this one. A lot of turnovers. The weather was kind of rough down there in Tampa. A rainstorm kind of came in the first quarter. But Michigan pounced on those opportunities, forcing a lot of Alabama turnovers. And they were a 16.5-point underdog at the start of the day. And Michigan goes on to win by 6. So go figure. Yeah, here are some of the highlights from our sister station down there. In Tampa covering this one. And the Wolverines, yeah, they got to the Crimson Tide with a great interception there that led to some early scoring opportunities. Dominic Zavada had 4 field goals in this one. And the Wolverines have won another postseason game. And I thought another interesting stat might go along with the Alabama wins. So they beat Alabama in the Rose Bowl January 1st. 2 weeks after that, or a week after that, they beat Kalen DeBoer and the Washington Huskies for the national championship. And today, they combined them because they beat Alabama, and Kalen DeBoer is the head coach of Alabama right now. So both parties got 2 losses to the Michigan Wolverines. And a great win for Sherrone Moore and his club. After having a so-so regular season, they beat Ohio State on the road. Then they get this win down in Tampa. So a lot of good momentum going for the Maize and Blue, who, might we add, was the reigning national champion entering this season. But Michigan, winners of the ReliaQuest Bowl 19-13. As they head into the offseason and the spring schedules and then into next fall with a lot of momentum, as we'll keep an eye on for next college football season.
And I'm really happy that you looked up what ReliaQuest is, because I've been saying it for the past couple days and have been wondering, what is that? But haven't actually looked into it.
There's so many bowls, so many name changes. Thankfully, we all know what Pop-Tarts are, so that's not a big
that's
deal.
an easy one. Cheez-Its,
But
easy.
now we're entering the big stretch here, and my apologies to your Indiana Hoosiers. They will not be in the college football playoff, but we start that quarterfinal tonight with Boise State and Penn State in just about an hour here. I think those games are on ESPN. They aren't going to be on ABC like they were in the first round, but college football quarterfinals about to kick off.
Should be some good games coming up. Right, Harrison, thanks so much for joining us. That is all the time we have for sports tonight. So let's take one more break, but we'll see you again in just a few minutes.
Salon services are furnished by Epiphany Advanced Academy in East Acme.
Let's take another look at our question of the day. What are your plans for New Year's Eve? And as you can see by looking at the results on your screen, a lot of people are staying in tonight. Some people are going out. But Sherry on Facebook says she's staying home, hanging with her husband and their fur babies, and she'll more than likely be sleeping before midnight. But if you happen to be up at midnight, be sure to tune in to our live coverage of the Cherry T-Ball Drop in downtown Traverse City. Well, thank you so much for joining us in Up North Live Unscripted. No matter what you're doing tonight, have a safe night and Happy New Year, everyone. We'll see you in 2025.